You don't want to pay some $20 a month to use Lightroom Classic, but you would like to organize your images somehow. So let me show you how for free. Terry Vanderheiden here. A lot of people that subscribe to this channel, like myself, use Adobe Lightroom Classic. However, the biggest complaint for using it is the cost. For just Lightroom Classic alone, it's about $12 a month. And if you'd like Photoshop, then it'd be about $20 a month. There is, however, a workaround, and surprisingly, it's offered by Adobe, and it's called Bridge. The best part, there's no charge for using Bridge. So let me show you how to use it. So if you already have Lightroom, you can come up here to click on this little icon, which is the Creative Cloud, and click on it, and you can do a search for Bridge. It's under your apps, and it's this little black and white icon, Bridge. And you just simply download it and put it in wherever you keep your apps. Now, if you're not a Creative Cloud user, you can easily go into Adobe, sign up for an account, and then you can download Bridge for free. So there's no cost to it. You don't have to pay anything. All you do is have to have an account with Adobe, and it's really simple to do. It only takes a couple of minutes. Once you get Bridge installed, you'll see that it's just like the free version is exactly like what we would use. So there's no difference there at all. So let's just take a look at some before we get into this. Let me reduce this for a second. If we wanted to look inside of here, inside this folder, and we wanted to look at these images, we could click each one to figure out what they are. And these are raw files. Sometimes they have a preview, sometimes they don't. And so you have these images in here as well. And let's say, for instance, I have a card that I put inside of here, inside my card reader. Let's go ahead and open that up. And there are all the files there too from a shoot with this card. So you can't really tell which ones you want to keep or which ones, there's no way to tell, right? But in Bridge, we can do this. So let me show you how this works. We'll open up Bridge. And of course, we have our desktop and we have our computer. Let's start at our computer. So the way the Bridge works simply, and this is just kind of an overview of Bridge. There's a lot to this. We're not going to get into everything it does today, but we'll just kind of give you an idea how this works. So what happens here is you've got kind of a little hierarchy of your favorites and your folders, depending on how you want to find things. So under favorites, if we go in here, we can see we've got our computer and we got our regular Mac hard drive. We got another attached drive, and we also have that card. So let's just double click on that card. And we know that the images are in the DCM. We'll double click on there. And now look, we've got our images that we can kind of look through and decide which ones we want to use. So it's a real simple way that you can look at images. So when you click on one, you can come over here and get all the metadata about the size of that, how it was shot, what the shutter speed was, the f-stop, all of those things. All that information is already loaded into your Bridge. Let's go back in here and let's go back to our desktop. And I have a little folder here of images that I already have loaded. Now, what's nice about Bridge is Bridge not only looks at raw files, but it also can look at JPEGs, it can look at PDFs, it can look at art files, it can organize all of your files. And it's simple because it works off of the folder. So if you're already organizing your images via folders, then this is a real simple way to go. I like to click it on favorites and then simplify this left-hand column. So now I can go to desktop, double click on desktop. I can see whatever images I have in there. I can go to my computer and go to the hard drive that I have setting over here if I want to double click on that and see whatever files I have. So you can see we've got Word files. We've got lots of things that we can work with. So now we've got these files. I want to show you something real quick though. This is kind of interesting. As we come in here, we go and open this test Bridge folder that we have here. We can see that we've got a bunch of files here, and these are NEFs. These are the Nikon electronic files. So these are raw files here. And then of course, when we go into the dog park, I loaded a few of those just for speed, and those are all raw files as well. So we're inside Bridge here, and let's go into these files here. So this is a raw file. And if we want to take a closer look at it, all we do is hit the space bar, and it fills up the screen with that raw file. So this is a great way that we can look at these. Now, if we want to look at the one next to it, we can just use our arrow keys, and that'll move through those images that we had on display there. So a pretty simple way. All we do is press space bar again, and we're back to our grid mode. So again, you can kind of see some of the similarities with this and Lightroom Classic. So let's go in here into the dog park. We can see we got several images of my dog running against the fence. It's this dog loves to run against the fence and bark at other dogs, and that's what he does for his exercise just about every single day. So if we want to take an image here, we're going to look at it and we can kind of scroll through and see which ones we like the best as we go through. And that's just using the arrow keys on my keyboard, moving through these images. And they're a pretty good rendition, really, of what we're looking at, right? It doesn't have doesn't take a whole lot of time to build, which is helpful. Now we've got our metadata down here. We've got metadata that we can look at down here. We can scroll through all the different types of metadata, from the file properties to camera detail. So this is all the information that you need in terms of trying to figure out how the image was shot, what lens it was shot at, what focal length, ISO, all that kind of thing is right here. You also have a thing called keywords. So let's go over to keywords here and just check this out. So you can assign keywords to this. These are the ones that are loaded in, but let's say we want to add a new keyword, and we're going to add in Colby. That's the dog's name. So now what we can do is we can click on an image, and then we can click the word Colby and know that all of those are going to be Colby. Now you can also do what's pretty common in most computers is hold the shift key down, you select all of them and click Colby for all of them. So now we could search by keyword, right? So that's one way adding keywords, but you can also, probably the easiest way I find, is to use a system of just starring the image. You can click 5 stars if you like for that image, or you can click colors. So the way we do colors is we just do Command 6 will give you a red one, Command 7 will give you yellow, Command 8 will give you green, and so on. So you can easily color code these so that you can find them easily, right? So as you open up your folder, again, this is folder based, unlike Lightroom Classic. You don't want to use folders in Lightroom Classic because Lightroom Classic has a hierarchy of knowing where all the images are, and if you start moving them outside of that, inside of folders, or move the folders around or rename the folders, Lightroom's not going to know where they're at. Where this is simple. This already know how this works because this is how folders work, right? And you have the ability to find whatever it is that you want. So we're going to go to our test bridge and we go into dog park and we can see. Now this is the neat part about this system, is not only can we categorize things and hold things, but we can also look up here and find this path of where the things are. So computer, Mac hard drive, users, my name, the desktop, the test bridge folder, and then inside the dog park. So you can always find your images that way. So however you process your images, you can get to those images that way. And what's nice about Bridge is it has the ability to handle any of your assets, be it, paper assets, PDFs, whatever. So we can come down here on this left side and go to filter and check out filters. And we can see here that we have 9 that are not labeled, and we've got one that's got a 5-star and one that has a green rating. So let's go into this one and we'll just do a Command 6, give it a red, and we'll give this one a red. So now we can see how this is starting to load up over here, right? We can find things pretty easily. Now, if we just click on the word, that brings up all the red ones. If we click on the word again, now we've got both of those selected. We got the green and the red. You can take that off by just unclicking. So this is a pretty simple way that you can go through and find all of your images if you're looking for a particular image in a folder. And so this is not opening Lightroom Classic by any means. And if you want to go backwards on this little path, they call it breadcrumbs, we can go back to this bridge folder here. Let's go ahead and take a look at here. All right, this is a Photoshop file. So you can zoom in and zoom out. What I'm doing is I'm clicking on my mouse, zooming in and zooming out. If you go to a regular RAW file, zoom in, zoom out. And wherever you put your cursor is where it's going to zoom into. Let's try that again. Spacebar will open up the image big, and let's say we want to look at the eye. I just click and it zooms it in. It goes up to 100% just immediately to see how something looks. Now, one of the things to be cautious about is while you can check focus this sort of way, you can't really be too precise about it. And the reason is, so when you have it, when you first click on it, it's going to give you a full screen view, which is great. And if you want to zoom it up, you can just put your cursor wherever you want to zoom up and then click. Now, you see here, it takes a second for that to come in to be completely sharp. So you have to wait a second for it to load that version in order to tell if it's completely sharp. So I don't know that it's a great way to go through and decide if something's sharp or not. You can certainly look at the image, but once you narrow them down, then you can find the 2 or 3 or 4 that you like, that you want to have, make sure that they're sharp. And then you can spend the extra time it's going to take to blow it up and take a look at it. So now for the rest of us that already are part of Adobe family, if you will, and we already are paying a monthly fee, one of the things that we pay for is Adobe Camera Raw. So Adobe Camera Raw, again, this is not in Lightroom Classic. This brings us right into Adobe Camera Raw. So we have an image. If we want to open this image, all we have to do is double click on it. And Photoshop's going to come up, and then it's going to open up Adobe Camera Raw. And if you recall from the last episode I just published about Adobe Camera Raw, all of our Lightroom products are in here. Everything that we like to use is right here for us to use. And we have things that you don't have inside of Lightroom Classic, because this is kind of a training ground for elements that they're thinking of putting in Lightroom Classic. And so this is a really cool way that you can actually do some work. And one of the things that you'll notice is we of course have our masks, and I'm going to go over mask here in another video of how to do masking, but it's you can do whatever it is you want in a mask. And say, let's, for instance, we want to take a radial gradient, and we're going to just bring that gradient out over here. We'll drag it over here. One of the things that is not in Lightroom Classic, but is in Adobe Camera Raw, is color grading. Color grading is not available for us inside of a mask. It's available for us, but not inside of a mask. So if we wanted to change the color tone and just the subtle way of changing, let's say a mid-tone, or if we want to do just shadows, we can change shadows and that kind of thing. You can have that ability of color grading inside of a mask inside of Adobe Camera Raw. So we'll get into that in another video. Now, once we've done something to this, we click done, and let's go into this. This is pretty cool. We'll give this a label as well, and we'll make it 5 stars. And this one here, we're going to give that a yellow tag. So you can see all of our different tags that we're creating over here on the side. Now, this is kind of an interesting thing. Remember when we opened these up originally, they were all just raw files? Well, look what's added, that XMP file. That XMP file is the list of instructions. So anytime you open up a raw file and do anything to it, anything at all, even just giving it a yellow label, it's going to give you an XMP file that then will transfer and follow this around. It's called a sidecar. So that file will follow that file around. It's exactly named just like the other one. So we have 3468 here, and we have 3468 here. That'll follow that around. And so that way, you're not going to lose any of your edits. Now, whether you're just editing inside a Bridge and giving it categories and keywords or names, or you're giving it star rating or colors, that's all things that is letting you know that it will create that sidecar to keep that with it. Now, if you've done an edit like we did on this one, we went in and did some editing. Look it up here. This is a little edit icon. This means that we've edited that image a little bit. So you can always, at a really brief look of your screen, you can see what's been edited, what you're working on, what your favorites are. And it's a real simple way to get around inside of all of your images. by using Adobe Camera Bridge. If you like this kind of content, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell icon to be reminded of my next video. If you'd like, you can always sign up to my website, which is imagelight.com, and go to subscribe. And then what I'll do is I'll send you an email letting you know that I do have a video coming out. If that's an easier way for you, you can do that. All right, we'll see you next time.